For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollo's. Call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
Another victory Monday.
Yeah, three hypocrites. 3 hypocrites in the first half, standing right here.
Yeah.
I never said it was over. I was mad. I never once
times.
said it was over. I saw a lot of people where I never said it was over. I didn't have a lot of hope, but I'm like, it's still the second quarter. Josh Allen is Josh Allen. We are a second half team. I had those thoughts. I mean, I still thought we were going to lose, but I never said it was over. So I can't fully say I'm a hypocrite.
I have 2 tweets of Fire McDermott, like back to back. So I can't talk.
You're right. I guess maybe I could be a hypocrite for saying we should fire McDermott, but I'm still not a huge McDermott believer for the fact that we're getting down in all these games. It's like
I might have been the most positive one, dude.
You said it was over after the Trayvon Henderson run. You 100% texted the group chat. And after the first Henderson.
No, I didn't go public this time. That's what I meant. It didn't count.
Oh, yeah, you did it in the private. You did it in the private.
I'm usually all up in on the stream. Like, I'm just putting shit on there the whole time. Like, we suck, fire beam, blah, blah, blah. Y'all are the ones, y'all are calling for McDermott's head before he made halftime.
I don't think I tweeted anything out calling for his head. Maybe I did. I might have said
I don't know if y'all did that. I'm in the chat.
Yeah. I did.
Oh, yeah.
I did it public. I did it public all day.
I'm still not a McDermott believer because, like, why are we starting out so slow in all these games? The adjustments are great, but yeah, I have to agree with this comment also. Like, who has it better than Buffalo sports fans right now? The Bills and Sabres are on 3-game win streaks. Josh just announced a kid. Knox just had a kid. Josh is playing like an MVP. And then the best news of them all, Kevin Adams is finally gone.
James Cook's number 1 in rushing in the NFL.
And
number
Cook's
2.
number 1 in rushing. He's still number 2.
28 yards away from taking over for Jonathan Taylor.
Taylor passed him? I thought he had beat him. Oh,
no,
okay.
Taylor
it's only 28 yards.
Okay, yeah. I thought he had overtaken him for some reason. Okay. Yeah. All right, well, take that back.
The vibes are great in Buffalo, which means that the Sabres are going to lose the 5-1 on Thursday because that's the most Buffalo Sabres thing ever. Well, I still might go to the game, but
there has to be a bounce back to the Bills. So the Bills need to win. So the Sabres have to sacrifice themselves for the ultimate prize.
I mean, if we get Shedeur playing like he did last week, we should be able to win with Mitch Trubisky and his quarterback because we could win with me and his quarterback if we get last week's Shedeur.
I mean, we won't have a kicker, so Prater's out.
Okay.
We'll find somebody.
We'll just go for it at every 4th down.
I'm available. I can kick 25.
Just triple T Myles Garrett and go for it at every 4th down.
You're going to have to. Great game.
I mean, honestly, I think we could get away with doublings. I think Spencer Brown and Dawkins are good enough with chip help.
Yeah.
I get Myles Garrett is Myles Garrett, but I think if you can get him some chip help, that I think he's not going to blow the cover off of us.
I mean, I think
probably he'll get a sack, but I don't think it's going to be as long as they're healthy and we actually give him some help. One-on-one, that's not going to work.
Dawkins still looks a little iffy out there.
He looked fine. He had a good game. The whole offensive line. Let's talk about the game. Yeah. But the whole offensive line had a great game. Overall, was fantastic. David Edwards had an incredible game when it came down to understanding and picking up blitzes in the second half. He was very smart at the line. That helped out, which that is true. Like, that is a discussion to have because I do agree, Alex, with you a little bit when it comes to Deion. Deion is a player. I don't think he's that cerebral overall. I just think he knows how to ball on the left side. And David Edwards does help him out picking up. So I think that duo is kind of a little bit necessary that Deion needs David Edwards on that side. But he's such a good left tackle. You can't even go anything wrong with that. But man, it was when it comes down to it, I think that this game was the game where you look at it and you're like, okay, we can do this in the playoffs, and especially because it was versus the Patriots, where we're playing against a good team that was 11-2 that had a sophomore rookie, which we will be seeing a lot in the playoffs, which I love. Joe Brady played it very well to where he understood that the running game was successful, but didn't spam it. Knew that it was almost his safe haven because he knew he could get 5 yards and then use the passing attack, and then knew when to use James Cook, which was fantastic. I love that. Yeah, the run defense was awful, but if you took away his 2 rushes of 52 yards and 65 yards, not excusing it, he went 13 for 24 at 2.61 yards per carry, had 4 rushes of 0 negative gain. And that's kind of Buffalo-esque in the run defense and what we could expect. As long as those 50-yarders and 60 and 52-yarders don't go for touchdowns, that's something that we can work with in the playoffs. And then I guess I'll stop being a hypocrite when it comes down to it and not say anything in the first half, because our defensive adjustments were some of the best that I saw this year for sure. When it came down to it, I was very surprised. And we did it against Drake May, who is probably the best quarterback outside of Josh Allen playing in the AFC at that moment. We'll see if Lamar Jackson, if he goes in 100% healthy. But when it comes to the AFC quarterbacks, Drake May be the best. And what McDermott did in the second half showed that Drake May was still young. And all it was just switching up from, in the first half, we used primarily cover 1 and cover 2. We did by count, we did 14 plays in cover 1 and 9 plays in cover 2. In the second half, we moved from cover 2 to cover 3, showing cover 4 and cover 6. So really, all we did was switch up coverages and change from cover 2 man blitzes, a lot of fire blitzes coming down, and that confused Drake May. And what we talked about last week was Drake May's turnover-worthy plays and his interceptions were when he was kept clean, when he was kept clean in the pocket. And we got pressure with Milano, which Milano had a great game. But even without the pressure, Jordan Poyer's almost interception was just rushing with 4, and it was a cover 2 invert. And Jordan Poyer came in close, and that's where Drake May had his errant throw. Yep. So those things are very inspiring for McDermott, knowing that he can manipulate younger and inexperienced quarterbacks, and that's what really gets me jacked up for the playoffs.
Well, I was going to say something too about the run defense. If you subtract, I think more impressively in the second half, if you subtract out that large run, they did almost nothing on the ground in the second half, nearly zero. And even that run, if it isn't for Epinesa and then some of the secondary help, I felt like was just kind of out of position from the get-go. The D line itself did kind of had their gap integrity in place there. They just stopped up that play initially. He had to reverse field because the defense did their job initially. He just happens to be super fast and elusive and got out to the perimeter, and then everyone was off balance. I thought Max Harrison, he played a great game other than the one play. I thought that he got trailed. I see Cole Bishop chasing a lot down the field. I don't know what that is. I don't know if he's playing too close to the box, because he's clearly playing center field. When somebody plays center field, it's him. I haven't seen Poyer do it as much. So, I don't know. I don't know if he's just out of position at times there. But anyway, I thought that the pass rush was kind of middling. But Miley, your boy, man, he did what he did. He's back. He got his cleanup sack. He got a cleanup sack.
I've been trying to say.
And that TFL was all him.
Yeah, it was all him. The TFL, he's good at those.
If you didn't watch AJ Epinesa play and be like, wow, okay, that's why Greg Rousseau is valuable, I don't know what you were watching. AJ Epinesa might be the worst defensive end at all time when it comes to keeping contained. I think every single time Drake May came out of the pocket or on that Trayvon Henderson 65-yard run, you could look at AJ Epinesa and be like, he was the main fault for that, because he just darts in every time. Yeah, Greg Rousseau doesn't do that. I get Greg Rousseau has other issues. His pass rush hasn't been as great this year, but that is something he is very good at, and it helps this defense out a lot, as he is always in position on those plays. And so at least he's not allowing big plays there. And I always want to get that out whenever I see it, because I see people constantly bash Greg Rousseau and thinks he sucks or isn't very good. And then they completely ignore that part. And then they don't give him any credit for doing things like that, which are important important plays. I mean, that's a touchdown that you can blame. Epinesa was probably the biggest reason why he was able to break it out. And then I think on Drake May's first or second rushing touchdown, Epinesa also didn't keep contained. And then I think on Drake May's big rush in the second drive, Epinesa also didn't keep contained. It was like 4 times where Epinesa darts in and Drake May is able to scramble out, or Trayvon Henderson. It was just very frustrating. And it's like Greg Rousseau doesn't do that. So I always like to point those out because I get very frustrated that no one ever talks about it.
Yeah.
I will say it was, their adjustments were a little weird because they had us on our heels in the first half, and Drake May was not much of a rusher this year so far. And I was surprised because they really got us on our toes with the quarterback run, and then they didn't really abuse it in RPOs. And I was surprised by that.
Yeah. I think that the threat, I think they saw something on tape where we just have not done a good job of containing quarterbacks with any type of, even Tua ran out of the pocket quite a few times. I think they were like, let's exploit this. May can move. Mays hasn't been bad. He just hasn't got a lot of touchdowns. I don't know what his yardage total is or anything, but I'm just saying.
I think he's like 350 or something like that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
It's not bad. I think it's probably about 3. I think he hasn't beat by like 250. Yeah, I think Mays at like 300, Allen's like 550, or Allen's like 600, Mays at like 350. So it's not like a huge gap, but like he definitely has a decent amount of yards. I mean, May is a dual threat per se, but I wouldn't say he's more a dual threat. I think he's a pocket passer who can move, kind of like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers wasn't a dual threat, but he was a pocket in his prime. He was a pocket passer that could move around. I think May maybe has a little more wheels. Obviously not as good as a passer, but he has a little more wheels than that. But a similar type, like Rodgers. Rodgers was a pocket passer who could move.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Drake May can throw the ball as good as him, but he's probably a little bit better of an athlete.
Let's talk about him for a second. I think Drake May, although I think Patriots fans should be excited about his potential as a quarterback.
100%.
For sure.
But I think when you get him on the field with Josh Allen, not just this game, the game before this, he's not baby Josh Allen. There's a clear delineation between their talent level. I mean, Drake's a high-end first-round talent. Josh Allen's just a super freak. I mean, there's just a difference between guys like, I don't know if there's anybody ever who's been as big, strong, and fast and can throw as well as Josh can as a combination. Like if God was going to make a quarterback and be like, here he is, he'd be like, okay, he's 6'5", super tall, but not too tall, right? He's shifty. He can run fast. He can throw it over those mountains over there, and he never gets hurt. And when he does get hurt, he plays through it. Knock on, he just plays through it. Now he could get hurt one day for sure. I mean, I'm being facetious, of course, but the point is that it's hard to measure up to that. And I think Patriots fans are in their feels right now because they saw it firsthand after winning 10 games in a row. After they beat us the first time, and they're like, yeah, like that's a problem because Buffalo, Nick Wright made a good comment on First Things First today. He makes lots of good comments that aren't related to Josh. Actually, he's more of a Josh homer now. But
because the media went too hard the other way.
Yeah, he went against Wilds, was talking about how he was okay with the loss, and he was like, dude, why? He's like, they basically spotted you 21 points, and they were like, we're just better than you. He's like, Josh gave you an A- performance. It wasn't even an A++ performance. He didn't go superhero mode. He was really good in the second half, but the full game scope of it, he didn't do that. And I think
I thought he was pretty good in the first half too. I mean,
he was fine.
Cooks drops of 50-yard touchdown
in his hands. Right. Yeah,
bucket.
Exactly.
And I think Josh misses one throw, which was on that drive. He missed Kincaid, but it was when he got pressure and he was moving. He still missed him, but he in the bucket literally couldn't have handed it any better to Cooks. And I also got to give credit to Joe Brady. That was a great play call. He did play action to start the game last week. Yeah. He did it again this week. And then he had a little rub route. Josh Palmer had a lot of separation, but kudos to him to instead of just continuing his separation, he decided to run a bit of a pick to get Cooks open because he saw Cooks was a little deeper because Palmer had like 5-10 yards of separation. The corner was playing really deep on him. He could have like broke it like in or closer to Josh more. It would have been like a 10-15 yard gain. He would have been wide open. But instead he broke it upfield more, kind of rubbed the defender off a bit and was able to get Cooks enough separation for Josh to drop it in the bucket. Yeah, and then he drops that, and it was so frustrating. Yeah, and then, I mean, it wasn't special after that, but I thought he was fine. I thought that was the only throw he missed in the first half. And then the second half, he kind of took over.
He had 3 off-target throws. That was it.
For the game, that's
really
good. Out of 30 throws, that's pretty good.
He was efficient. He was
28.
great. Joe Brady
called in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Joe Brady called an incredible game when it came down to it. He's finding it. It's crazy. I think he's finally realizing the deficiencies and then just now getting more creative in the process.
Yeah.
Like as I posted on Twitter, that the ball 3 inside and then using Dawson Knox as a whip route to create that pick instead of just doing standard mesh. Like that's incredible to use. Josh Allen was 3 for 6 for 75 yards and 1 touchdown on balls of 20 plus air yards or more. Like that's all we're really asking for is six long shots that are over 20 yards to test that back. And you can see it open up the middle in terms of that Dalton Kincaid catch in the cover 2 where that opened up in the middle. Like that's what opens up if you let Josh throw from 20 yards or more. And Josh Allen now has that confidence where he's letting people try and make plays like the Shakir catch, the Brandon Cooks to go get it on the left side in the second half, and the Keon Coleman throw. Like those were sticky coverage, but he still threw it to give them a shot to see if they can come down with it. And that's big time.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You go.
I was going to bring up Cooks before I forgot because you brought him up. And I think we found out who's going to be off the team when Mecole Hardman comes back. I just think he just doesn't do enough. He's fine. He doesn't do anything crazy. He dropped a pass, but I mean, he does his job. But I just think that he doesn't separate that I've seen at all. Like the plays now, the one play where Josh missed the touchdown, he came open when he was like 30 yards down the field. Josh just waited too long and then threw it, and then the guy covered him up at that point. It was a bad throw.
Right.
It was a bad decision, I should say, more than anything else. But he's really the one where he runs.
It was
up
a little
the
bit
seam.
over him.
Oh, it's not the same. It was like a fade
second
almost.
half, the left side. Yeah.
Yeah, and he.
Oh, okay.
Josh,
yeah.
He's in the slot, and Josh had him, and then he checked. He kind of started.
It was like by the sideline or whatever.
Yeah, and then he started fading.
Yeah.
And then when they ran the replay, you could see him run wide open the first 25 yards, and then they came over. It was a zone concept, so like on defense. So I mean, at the same time, it's like every time I see him in man, I don't see him beating his guy cleanly like that. I don't know. I just don't think he's got the same kind of juice he used to. I mean, he's 32 years old.
Coleman or Gabe Davis, though. I think we already have Tyrell Shavers who can block. Right. You add one more. I think we only need 2 elite blocking wide receivers on the team. We don't need 3. Tyrell Shavers is one. He's his job safe, and I think it should be Gabe or Keon. And I would say cut Keon because I think Gabe Davis. They're similar blockers. Yeah, they won't, but that's who they should cut. You cut Gabe Davis or you cut Keon because Gabe Davis, you can at least trust in the scramble drills. Josh has chemistry with him. I trust him a bit more as a receiver. He's a little bit better down the field, and they're about similar as blockers. Yeah, maybe you can't just throw up a 50-50 ball and hope he comes down with it, but you can't even really do that with Keon.
Can't do that with Keon either, dude. Like they completely ignore when he's on the field. I'm looking for it in the red zone. They put him in multiple times, and he lines up, and I'm like, oh, here it comes. It's going to be the fade, and they just never throw it anymore. And they've lost trust. They've lost trust in him. I just don't think he's going to be on the team next year. He'll stay on the team this year.
I have a question for you guys when it comes to Keon Coleman. You guys notice when he runs his posts or like his quick slant, like his deep slant a little bit, he does not plant with one foot. He decelerates, then moves. And I noticed that first in the snow game and I thought it was just the snow, right? You run up to the stem and if you're running a post, you should left foot, plant, take off, right?
Yeah.
He takes 2 or 3 steps to decelerate, then makes his move. And that's why it's so easy for cornerbacks to just adjust quickly. Because even if he's decelerating, you can stop for a little bit, but he slows too far down at the stem and then runs that inside post. And then it's easy to cover. Like it's very, very odd how Keon runs his routes at the stem. And I don't even know why he does it, especially with CeeDee Lamb being his cousin.
Yeah, and it's not that – I think it's confidence. I think he's lost all of his confidence. I think that the routes looked better early in the year. Like remember the
Ravens.
The Ravens, the catch against Jair Alexander at the end of the game. That was a clean
with
route.
1 foot there.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a boom, boom. Like he got open that way, and he could do those types of things, especially when they're playing zone like they were. I don't think that he's happy with what's going on with his career, and it's all his fault. It's not our fault that he's doing what he's doing. Now it's Bean's fault for drafting him and trying to turn him into something that he's not.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he is. That's the thing. I don't think he's a big slot. I don't think he's a boundary receiver. He's definitely not he's not a Z. So it's like, what do you do with a guy like this who doesn't really have a position? He just looks like a big wide receiver. It's not that he actually, has any.
He needs to learn how to become Matt Collins.
He does, and
that's like his ceiling now.
That's his ceiling now, and that's sucks.
Crazy.
The early second round pick, you shouldn't take. And you know what? I think we all convinced ourselves
all day
of what he is after we drafted him. Because before the draft, I had him ranked 15th or 13th or something. I can't remember now, as the receiver room. And then when we drafted him, I was like, well, maybe he's 7th or 8th. I tried to convince. I was like, he could be better than Ladd McConkey.
I said the same thing. Listen,
although Ladd has not looked good for weeks, by the way.
I did the same thing.
Have you noticed Ladd has looked pretty weak the last few weeks?
I think part of that's also Herbert has no time to throw because he has the worst offensive line in football.
Both his tackles are out.
Well, you never know.
And Herbert's struggling, generally speaking.
Ladd's knock and why he dropped were nagging injuries. And you never know what he might be dealing with, sort of thing. So that could be kind of coming up to him, but you never know.
And he's physicality. He's not a big guy. Even though I think he's listed 6 foot 190 or something like that. I mean, that's not super light, but that's definitely on the smaller side. And I think that part of it is not just his size, it's his strength. Some of these kids who can run, Diggs is a 6 foot 190 guy, but Diggs has got some of that core strength that he can deal with contact and kind of fight through it a little bit. And speaking of Diggs, I was super happy he didn't do anything this game. I thought that Taron Johnson I just don't think they targeted Diggs very often.
They looked at Mac more.
Yeah, I think they thought we were going to cover up Diggs, so they were going to go to Mac. And this is the part with Drake May that kind of frustrates me when I'm watching him play is I see the highlights, but then I watch him play in the games. And that second half, man, I mean, we did confuse him with all those different covers looks and all the different disguise stuff. And Mac he looked lost. In college, he ran a really basic offense. At North Carolina wasn't really complex. They did a couple different route concepts, and it wasn't really anything elaborate. And I never saw this fiery player that even with Caleb Williams, I don't like Caleb Williams that much, but Caleb Williams, at least in college, when he would get hyped when things would happen, Drake was always way too even keeled, almost like Eli Manning-ish, and I saw that in the game a little bit, even when they were struggling. He didn't seem phased, but he also seemed like he was completely out of the rhythm of the game itself. Josh is a momentum train, and I guess I'm used to that now. But when he comes, it's like a freight train coming at you. But also, if we knock the train off the tracks, it can be a disaster as well. So there is this high-low thing with him that I don't see with Drake May. But I feel like there's some problems with kind of his game and maybe that limiting his ceiling. I don't know if he's ever going to be a top 4 or 5 quarterback in the NFL. Maybe he could get there. But I just don't see that kind of same it factor that I see in Josh and Lamar and Pat and even Burrow when he's not crying himself to sleep at night, wanting to retire from football.
May would have to get substantially better pre-snap and post-snap recognition when it comes down to it.
Everything's predetermined, you can tell.
Yeah, right. But that's the best part of what we're talking about with the defense of McDermott. I now have faith that McDermott could do that against Drake May, against Bo Nix, against Trevor Lawrence, and against CJ Stroud. Maybe if we end up with Justin Herbert, that might be rough, but with an offensive line, then McDermott and Babbage can switch to simulated pressure, bring pressure in on different sides, and then get Herbert on the ground. Go ahead, Miley. Sorry.
I don't know about T-Law right now. The way T-Law's balling and with how good of a coach Liam Cohen is, I think Liam Cohen is a top 5 to 7 head coach in the NFL because I think he's a top 3 to 5 offensive coach in the NFL. I'd be McVay 1, Shanahan 2. Be hard pressed for me to not say Cohen's 3. I am that high.
That's fine. Trevor's on a heater right now, but he wasn't a month ago.
He wasn't, but I think it's basically as soon as they traded for Jacoby Myers, he got some more receivers he could trust. Because at the beginning of the year, BTJ was playing terrible. I don't know what they were doing with Travis Hunter, and then he finally has a good game, and then he gets injured.
That was the best. Good. Sorry.
And then now that they add Jacoby Myers, they're starting to use BTJ a little bit better. I'm friends with a Jags fan, so he was telling me they've been taking more deep shots with him down the field, which is what they should have been doing all along. And then that rushing attack they have with ETN and Tootin is that two-headed monster. Not even a great offensive line. They're able to run the ball. Trevor Lawrence off play action. He's been running as a quarterback a lot, making a lot of plays. With the way he's been playing and with that offensive coach, I'm honestly more I honestly might be more scared to face him than Drake May because it's T-Law with Liam Cohen scheming up plays versus Drake May with Josh McDaniels scheming up players. And I just think like that coaching difference is so big, and the Jags have got hot at the right time.
Let me ask you this. So Trevor Lawrence, I think, is a good discussion because I've been noticing the similar things. Not to you, but like I've been noticing people talking about him in a way that insinuates like this is his best game of his career this week. Like clearly, in my opinion, clearly, I don't think this is even close.
It'd be the best game of a lot of people's career.
Yeah, it's great. You know, it was not just a low end game; it was an awesome game. Like he was great in this game, right? Who did they play again?
It was the Jets, but
the Jets. Okay. So the other question is: last week they were talking about. Weeks. Yeah, but last couple of weeks they've been talking about how great he was, and I go and look at his stat line, and I'm like, if Josh Allen had the year where in Week 14 his completion percentage was 59%, they would be talking about how he was like should retire and fall off the face of the planet. But it seems like with T-Law, we've got like this situation where it's like he literally is completing 59% of his passes.
Yeah, he struggled to start the.
And even last
year,
yeah, he definitely struggled. I'm saying since they traded for Jacoby Myers, I mean, they have a big test coming up this week against Denver. But since they look at the splits before they traded for Jacoby Myers and since they've traded for Jacoby Myers, it's a lot better. And T-Law, he does have the inaccuracy.
Yeah.
Everything has to do with tape, though. Now when we're getting into the playoffs, there's going to be 4 to 5 weeks of tape with Jacoby Myers, and then you adjust. And the thing is that our experience outweighs T-Law. When it comes down to it, Josh Allen's experience and McDermott's experience in the playoffs, because all these teams have not been to the playoffs in a long time and played meaningful playoff games, matter so much more in this situation.
I agree. I think we will beat Jacksonville. I'm just saying, if you're comparing it to the way the Jaguars offense is playing right now versus the way New England's offense is playing, I think the Jaguars offense is more scary to me. And I think T-Law
I think that's fair.
Because I think Sean McDermott in the second half adjusted and he outcoached Josh McDaniel thoroughly. I don't think he's doing that to Liam Cohen. I think Liam Cohen's a better coach than him. Because I just value top end offense if you have a good quarterback, which I think T-Law is a good, not great quarterback. I think he's above average. He just has accuracy-ish inconsistencies. That's why he has some really good games. He has some really bad games. But I think overall his top end games are pretty good. And even this year, he's had top end games throughout the entire year. He's just had some real bad games too. And also Jacksonville's defense is playing really good lately. But I really love Liam Cohen. You saw the Bucs offense, albeit there's a lot of injuries, but their offense is a lot worse this year than it was last year. And Liam Cohen was the offensive coordinator for the Rams for a couple years. Yeah, they have a lot of injuries, but like it's still a lot worse than it was last year. That's 100% true.
I mean, the Bucs would be like if we lost
playing worse than he was
throughout
last
the year.
Year.
We lost Deion Dawkins. We lost Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, and Khalil Shakir, all in the first 10 weeks.
Yeah,
I mean, we'd be non-playoff bound.
Yeah, they're rough. They're struggling right now. I feel bad for them, actually. I mean, it's rough. It's a rough look.
And
now.
James Cook, by the way, Bucky Irving was out.
Yeah,
and then we lose James Cook too. We would not be playoff bound.
I get it. I just think that even when they were healthy to start the year, Baker was playing good, but that offense still wasn't as. Baker was playing really good.
They didn't have their left tackle or
that
Chris
offense
Godwin,
was statistical.
Or Bucky Irving.
Yeah, but they had Emeka Egbuka and Mike Evans to start the year, and but he was playing amazing.
With Evans,
man, I so much with Evans. That's not. Listen, we cannot do that when we would be literally making excuses for Buffalo if that was the situation.
He was good with Evans on the field, by the way. When Evans went out, he dropped his production way down.
100%. But
Evans
even when it was good, even when it was good, it was not as good as it was last year. The numbers were worse.
Hey, let's talk about this real quick. I want to talk about this before I forget. Did y'all hear the comment that Vrabel made?
Awful. Quote tweeted it.
He was wrong.
Give me these. If that's his take, give me him again. I don't know how many different legal hands to the face that weren't called that I could watch on the damn TV screen over and over again. They had multiple plays where I felt like there was more pass interference. There wasn't anything called. That play where he says wasn't a catch. Maybe it wasn't, but it was definitely pass interference. He had his head turned the wrong way. It was definitely not just a 50-50 ball where they're both looking for like the Trey White play where there was contact. That's a legit pick. When you're talking about a play where it's like the ball was poorly thrown and they gave us a catch. The only reason we got the catch is because they called it a catch, and it's not worth challenging it because we're just going to accept the penalty if they do it. You know what I mean? Even if it's not a catch, you know?
It was also just like how last year the Cole Bishop, it looked like Cole Bishop picked that, and then Xavier Worthy was able to get some sort of possession on it as it went to the ground, and Ty always goes to the offense. So it's not
let's be real.
We got shafted by that last year. And it's dumb. You can be mad at the rule, but you can't be mad at the call.
In the first game we played them in, they were like, y'all are hypocrites. You were talking. I'm like, did you see how many penalties we had in the first game? Like, I think, did we have like 9 penalties in like the first half in that game? Was that the game where
Conor McGovern pile drove his dude to the ground and they called him for holding.
And then, exactly.
We did it. We had a snatch and trap that was a holding that resulted in a touchdown.
That's right.
A touchdown.
That wasn't
taken away.
Like those are real plays that shouldn't be called.
That wasn't even the McGovern one I'm talking about. McGovern literally pile drove his dude into the ground and they called it. And then also that offensive pass interference on the screen block that everyone does all the time. And the Patriots did it to us multiple times. And then Josh threw the pick the next play.
I'm sick of these they're coping right now. This is like elite level cope from the Patriots fans at this point.
Yeah,
like,
they're trying to do these still frames.
Crazy about the comment too. The obviously the higher up, they're talking. They're like Vrabel is speaking to the media, to the refs. Like, yo, Vrabel, you're like, that is absolute bullshit when it comes down to it. Because if you're trying to talk to the refs, then that's just making it a worse comment. Like, if you're trying to speak to the media through the refs, it makes you look worse trying to moan. And you should be fined at that point because he's literally talking to the refs at that point. And that's what I don't like about the situation is if they're right and he is trying to talk to the refs through the media, then that's a bigger problem.
And he does it, dude. I know he's trying to play Belichick. He does it during the game. I felt it coming that they were going to flip a call for their direction, but it just was too awkward to do it. He was hounding them during the plays. Every time they get a penalty, he was hounding the shit out of them. And I'm sitting there like, I'm going to punch this guy in the face through the TV screen. Like, if you're this insecure and after the game you have to talk trash to us and risk getting fined for this stuff, then dude, you're just a petty. I want to play you again, bro. Like, I want to play now. I want to play you again because I think your team is soft. Because I think deep down you're soft. You look big and tough, but you're actually not Belichick. You're not a big tough guy. You're just the guy who coached Tennessee and did pretty good there.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it is he was wrong. We literally had an offensive holding call on us.
That took away a touchdown.
And then it took away a touchdown, and Josh just said, nah, never mind. I'm just going to throw a touchdown on third and go for 15.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to make an amazing play to Dawson Knox, which we gotta talk about Dawson Knox.
Yes, we do.
He's been great. I just find it funny, though, about the way this roster is built. You can make an argument that we have the best position group for 4 different positions, but then the position groups that we're weak at, we're like bottom of the league. Like,
dangerous.
You can make an argument that we have the best tackle room in the NFL. We have the best tight end room in the NFL. You can make an argument we have the best running back room in the NFL, and we have the best quarterback room in the NFL.
I mean, all pro fullback.
Like we have those 4 positions. And then interior offensive line is probably
pretty
top
good
5 in the league.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
It's funny. Outside of like just a wide receiver who can beat man coverage, your offense is basically perfect.
Yeah, and then you have I think
a more consistent offensive coordinator.
And maybe linebacker consistency too. Linebacker consistency is a problem.
Yeah. But then you look at defense and it's like the cornerback room looks pretty decent, I would say. Max is playing pretty good. Benford's playing like an all-pro. Shout out Trey White yesterday. He had himself a game. But then it's like outside of that, it's like the safety room's weak. The linebacker room's weak. I guess you could say the pass rush when healthy was good, but it's weak right now. The D tackles are weak.
It was all, but
with Hoyt.
We had a schematic advantage at pass rush. It wasn't really like, oh, your pass rush group is so good, like on paper. It was more of like we had
deep.
3 or 4 guys. Yeah, 3 or 4 guys who do one thing really well. And when you put them all together, like we saw it one game against the Chiefs. You know what I mean? We got
and against
one
the
game
Panthers. Two games.
And against the Panthers.
Yeah, but the Chiefs were really popped. It was like, oh, this is what this can be.
Yeah.
I was feeling like we could let Joey rest for a couple of weeks because Hoyt could come in and replace him for a little bit. But it was so pretty. It was beautiful the way they used Hoyt. And I keep looking for it from some other players, and it's just not happening. Dorian Williams, I think Milano this week was the closest we've seen to it. But dude, he's too
shout
small.
out Milano. What a great game.
He's gonna get destroyed playing this way every week, dude. He's gonna get hurt again.
That's my question for you guys. Is that's what it comes down to? Is at the end of the year, the way that we're playing these last 3 games, like where you see a good game out of Milano. You're seeing Trey White play well. And those are where we talked about where we can actually say that we're not hypocrites in the being of like our team is so razor thin that we need everybody together to play well. And that's what we're doing now. Yeah. And what I'm nervous about is we are a Super Bowl caliber team if Milano and Trey White have a good game together. Taron Johnson is somewhat viable. Jordan Poyer stays healthy and plays well like how he's playing now. But the question is, do we see that in the playoffs? And that's where that is risk adverse of getting to the Super Bowl is we need those older veterans to step up. And the question is it just now or do they continue it in the playoffs?
I had a good comment today. I think it was on the Speakeasy podcast with Acho and Shady. And I think it was Shady who mentioned, maybe it was a different one. I think it was Shady who says, he was like, yeah, Allen can carry you in any given game, but if he doesn't carry them, they're really in big trouble, right? Versus like the Broncos or the Texans, if their quarterback has a bad game, their defense can pick up the slack a lot for them, like because they're just such elite defenses, and we just don't have that option. Now, at our best, if Allen's killing it, those teams aren't going to beat us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as long as we coach the game the right way and Allen doesn't turn the ball over. Allen doesn't turn the ball over, we're going to win the game most of the time.
Sure.
Problem is he starts pressing because we start to get behind a little bit, and then all of a sudden it unravels on us. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. That's a scary position to be in, I think, as a playoff team at this point. That's why I doubts.
It is a good thing that we've been having to do all these come from behind right now, because come playoff time, we're losing by 10, 15, 20 points. Josh isn't maybe going to start. Yeah, he's not going to start pressing like in years past when we're used to dominating these teams. And then comes playoff time and it's tight and it's close. I mean, he's been great in the playoffs, but like there's been times
remember 13 seconds. We were down 23-14, I believe, before the Gabe Davis
Gabe Davis
shot touchdown.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I remember that game going, this might get under out of us.
This is the most battle tested we've been. We've had all these come from behind victories. So come playoffs, if we struggle in the first half against a Bo Nix or a CJ Stroud or whatever, and we're losing by 10 points, okay, we've done it already plenty of times. Granted, against worse defenses than what they have, but you could also give it to Joe Brady. I'll give him credit. He didn't get away from the running game. And I think that has to happen in the playoffs. If we're down to these teams, you can't get away from the run game because we're built on the run game and play action to the tight ends. That is our bread and butter. That is our offense, and he has been scheming it up great. I still get frustrated by him when it comes to important calls. I feel like he doesn't do a great job. Like even on the screen to Ty Johnson, okay, you want to call that, but then how come you have Shakir, Kincaid, and Palmer as your blockers? Why isn't it Knox, Keon, and Shavers? Why are they not out there? Or like maybe you don't put all three out there, but you have Kincaid, Shakir, and Shavers, or Kincaid, Shavers, and Palmer. Like you at least have one of them be like who Palmer is supposed to block, the closest guy. You have that be a Keon or a Shavers, and then you keep the other two, so it's not an obvious screen. It's like, all right, they have their pass catchers out there.
Yeah.
And that's where it was just like that's where it just got frustrated. It's like, when we called the screen and then punted, it's like, if you're gonna call the screen on 3rd and 15, you at least have to have some conversation with McDermott to be like, all right, do we want to go for it? If I'll call this screen, we can get half the chunk yards, and then we'll go for it on 4th and 7 or 4th and 5. And he's like, probably not. Then you got to be like, all right, I'm going to go for it in one play then. Because a 3rd and 15 screen's not going to get you the first down. It's just going to make 4th down more manageable.
But also, I think we could probably go ahead. Sorry.
No, I agree. When it comes down to that one was very confusing. I don't think we got real answers out of that because the press conference today I don't think it was broadcasted, so I didn't see McDermott talk today. So I didn't really get real answer out of that. Miley, I very much agree with you on the screen on 3rd and 5 or whatever it was, especially because if you watch on the All-22, like I understand that Palmer didn't block well, and Ty Johnson kind of ran into Palmer a little bit. He should have stayed more inside to gain a little bit more on that. And Josh Allen's not great at throwing screens constantly, but even when Ty Johnson got close to Jordan Palmer, it's so predictable on our screens that the two linebackers, by the time he got to Palmer, were already at the line of scrimmage, full speed. So it's even debatable that he would have got a first down if it was completely successful the way it was played out.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, I do love those running back screens, but he's just too predictable.
That one was predictable.
Not running fakes off. We're not running fakes off of that. I don't know if he's just saving it for the playoffs, but we ran it a couple times to start the year. Kincaid, I think, had like 2 touchdowns and fake screens. And we haven't called it since.
I think they have to bake in a second option. I really do. Because it's good. People are starting to predict it a little bit more. Shakir's screens are becoming mostly ineffective.
I like the fake screen to the backside screen.
Do you think they're saving it for the playoffs? No, I'm sorry. Do you think they're saving, because we did it in the beginning of the season, the fake screen to the second level throw?
I think we are.
Early. I think they're saving it.
We had a couple Kincaid wheel routes on and I think they are. But it just gets frustrated. Since I haven't seen it yet, I can't say they are saving it.
I mean,
but I do like the fake screen to Shakir, the backside to Ty Johnson. We've run that like 3 times, and it's been really good. And then I do love how much they've been using Ty as like that middle, not in the backfield, but not out wide where they have him there. And then they've run screens off it. So then when he's standing there, the linebackers have to be paying attention to that, and it's going to open up stuff over the middle of the field. I saw the beginning of the year. I saw the Falcons using Bijan like that a lot, and I'm like, we need to do that. Use Ty Johnson and James Cook like that, and I think Brady probably saw it, and he's been using them a lot like that, and it kind of puts a lot of stress on the defense because it's like Ty Johnson with the ball in his hands he took a 50-yard touchdown off one of them.
You're right. When he's
you're stressed. It's like, oh, is it going to be a screen? Oh no, is it going to be to the tight ends? And the linebackers are kind of in a bind, and one of them usually gets open.
I'd like to track
third and 4, it's too predictable. They're going to do screen there.
I'd like to track the EPA on those plays because when Ty Johnson sets up, I mean, it wouldn't even be called offset, right?
It's the offset and the triangle bunch, right? The wide receiver triangle bunch.
Yeah, it's that.
Is that what you're talking about,
those plays work really good all the time.
Yeah,
like they almost never fail, and every time it happens, I'm like, oh. Because you'll see it, he'll be right next to Allen, and he'll start stepping to the right, and Allen's over here.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is gonna be a good play. I can tell because it's the threat of the screen with Ty Johnson on the field is a real threat to defenses, and it makes them play us completely different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do y'all think of Darnell? Go ahead, sorry.
And I have just one quickly, and it's not like it's a wide receiver screen where he's catching it at the line. He's catching it 5 yards back so he can read the blocks a lot better. And since he's a running back, he's better at reading blocks than Shakir. Shakir is just elite at breaking tackles, but when you're catching it at the line, it's harder to read the blocks because the blocks are right next to you. When you're 5 yards behind the blocks, you can kind of read which way the defenders go and just cut the other way and use your speed and athleticism to get by. And he can break a nice tackle here and there too.
Yeah, Shakir's the reason he's so good at screens really is less about him reading blocks and more about contact balance and just when he gets hit, it's so good. It's the best. It might be the best in the league. I mean, I don't know.
It might be the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, like it feels like Devin Singletary and Barry Sanders had a baby when he has the ball in his hand. Sometimes it's really weird.
And then it turned wide receiver, And
then he turned into wide receiver.
It is, 100%.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the prospect of Darnell Savage stepping in for Poyer? I mean, with Savage and Bishop, if they decide to play him, Savage is like an elite athlete. Like we'd have the most athletic safety room maybe in the league with those two back there. Do you think that's even a possibility? I don't know why they sign a guy and they just don't even. I know he's only been 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever it has been, but man, I
think they signed him because they're like Poyer's old. If he gets injured, do we trust Hancock? And they probably don't. So they're like, all right, we trust Savage. Actually. Yeah. So it's like, it's basically like, it's going into the playoffs. Say Poyer gets injured and they don't trust Hancock, then it's kind of like we're screwed. Now it's like, all right, we have Savage. I would like to see them use him a little bit. Yeah. I think probably the Jets game week 18 will be the perfect chance to showcase because we should hopefully go up by a lot. I feel like that should be a game where we're up by 30 at halftime or
think about Bishop
30 halfway through the third.
Think about having Bishop in the box and just playing safety and just kind of roaming around like in a rover. That's so good.
Yeah, he's a playmaker. Sacks, picks. He just makes plays.
He'll do it all. Like that would be such a good place to put him at. He can cover
tight ends.
Yeah, like Derwin James plays a lot like this. That's kind of how I view him as being like this kind of player that can just kind of do a lot of different things. And then having someone in the back end like Savage just play center field. And I think it would change things a lot. Because right now, you could tell they hedge. I mean, the pass defense has been really good, but I feel like they hedge a little bit on their safeties and try to cover them up a little bit in what we do out there. Although I did think Max Harrison did a really good job this week. And I thought Trey White played well. The problem with Trey White is he's just so overmatched when he plays big receivers. Like he just can't do it. He can't get the position he needs. He's not physical or strong enough to really like overcome it. They can just box him out, and it is a problem. But
I mean, they gave Max pretty much a one-on-one with Booty. They put and he stunted him. It was one catch that was not a catch. That was not a catch.
Yeah, no, that wasn't 100% not a catch.
And Harrison kind of slowed up at the end. I felt like
because he's weak.
Yeah, Harrison could have slowed up at the end.
I think he felt like he had him out of bounds.
I think he did too.
Sure.
He's out of bounds. I don't have to worry about him anymore.
Yep.
Max Harrison's doing a very good job in his rookie year, looking back for the ball almost on every throw, and that's going to do him major numbers coming into his sophomore year when he starts getting more smart, NFL smart and things like that. Like him already doing that with his athleticism is going to do wonders in year 2, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and his speed is so glaring on tape that when he's out there, even when he gets beat, like I remember in college him getting beat and then him recovering, getting interceptions and things like that. And I was like, I don't know if that's going to translate. It absolutely does translate. Like even the times he gets beat, he's not getting beat. Like he's catching, like when Kyrie Elam used to get beat, well, used to get beat way worse than that. But when he did get beat, he never recovered.
Like the AFC Championship game.
Yeah,
he's literally running in a circle while Juju Smith
that was embarrassing. It's the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen. I feel bad for him.
Hey, me and this gentleman right here had to sit next to Kyrie Elam's girlfriend during that game, whole game.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's bad. Bad to see that. She may not even notice, some.
Oh no, we made a comment. She turned around and she's like, "He'll get better," and never did.
He'll be fine. He's only in year 4. let him. He's only 27.
Yeah. Funny enough, if he was still on the roster, he'd have the most playoff picks on a roster with 2. Maybe besides Poyer.
Yeah,
I don't know how many Poyer has, but he does have those 2. He does have those 2 clutch interceptions. The one against Miami when we almost lost to Skylar Thompson, and then the pick against Pittsburgh when they were starting to mount a comeback.
Pittsburgh. That's right. I forgot about that.
We still probably would have won, but they were mounting a comeback and it was in the end zone, and it kind of flipped the momentum. And then after that, it was like, all right, we got this one in the bag.
Here's my prediction: what we're going to do in the playoffs, and I saw it a lot more in the second half this week was. I think they really thought this game was important, not just to win the division, because I think that's still a long shot. But I think they wanted to make a statement, like even
Miami? You don't think Miami's going to beat New England?
I think they're going to do it.
I think they can. I believe they're tied right now. They're down. They're winning 3-0 against the Steelers right now.
Oh my God!
So probably not. But
I actually want Pittsburgh to win that game.
Yeah, me too. So what? Because I want the Ravens out.
Right.
But what I would say is I think what I saw in that second half that was encouraging was I thought the defensive line really came into their own a little bit with how they were stopping the run, other than that one play, which I don't think that was their fault. And then I thought they were blitzing at opportune times, and it worked. Like the blitz pack, the blitzes they were throwing at May, I thought were largely effective, even when they weren't getting home, to get him off his beat a little bit. I mean, even that last one where Bosa tips the ball, like it was a delay. And then he saw him breaking out, and he's like, "I'm just going," and he came out.
He was a spy.
He was a spy, yeah.
Yeah, he was a spy, which he did it perfectly. He said after he was like, "I'm glad that he didn't outmove me," but he was proud of what he did, which was great. I do agree. Larry Ogunjobi is decent inside, and I'm glad that he is kind of coming into his own a little bit. He could be a good interior guy coming into the playoffs.
I didn't notice TJ Sanders. Did you notice him at all?
He was on the outside. I watched a little bit on the outside. Stop putting him at edge. Just like we have too many 3-techs. It's so bad. He's not an edge. It's just I feel bad for him. I feel bad.
That's all McDermott wants is 3-techs. He doesn't want people who can hold a double team. Besides dog shit Jones.
Yeah, and Deion Walker
had a bad game.
Deion Walker is such a boss.
Yeah, he's a good player. I noticed
Jones
him.
Is down, though. He sucks.
Hey, he ran May down on that scramble that game.
Dude, yeah.
Hey,
he was also getting moved like 5 yards down the field on every good run play.
Hey, May couldn't outrun him.
He doesn't give me I want to root for him, but every time I try to, and I look and I see a big run play, I'm like, oh, they just double teamed Jaquan Jones and acted like he wasn't there.
I know. Billy, I was just kidding. I just wanted to gaslight you for a second.
Yeah, I just think we don't have anyone that can hold up at the point of attack, take on double teams. I mean, there's just nothing there in that way. Deion Walker, I thought, has done a better job. Yeah, I know. Walker's done a really good job, I think, of trying to fill that role, but it's really not his wheelhouse. It's actually stunting his productivity statistically by making him do this. You
Agreed.
know?
And
he's
he
doing
can
better
have,
than I
more
thought.
interior production.
And he
but
still
that,
shows up. He still shows
our
up on
hope
tape.
that we get a nose tackle next year. I mean, something's got to give. I would think that Brandon Beane would know that the construction of the defensive line is not all the way there. It would be it's kind of almost a fireable offense if he does not get an athletic nose tackle in the free agency or draft next year, because it's so glaringly obvious for the past 2 years. I think I would like to think that he needs it. If it, like Miley, like you say, it's McDermott making a lot of the influence on it. So Brandon Beane now may be on a hot seat where he needs to steer away from McDermott's guys and draft an actual 325, 330 nose tackle like Dominique Orange from Iowa State.
Here's my thing, though. Okay, he drafts them, and then McDermott makes him lose 20 pounds, like he does with every other big defensive tackle.
Well, I mean,
he'll be like,
I'll
draft them, and then McDermott will be like, no, you have to lose a bunch of weight. You can hold double teams too well.
He said, he's like, hey, man, you're 330. I mean, let's not even say this.
How many did you have? 305.
You're 315, man. I'd like to flip you down to about 260 and turn you into a defensive end. How do you feel about that, TJ Sanders?
Michael Hoyt.
Exactly.
Michael, that's why they love Michael Hoyt, because he did that. He was 300.
That's Michael Hoyt.
Deion needed to lose some weight, and Michael Hoyt, that one actually worked out, but the ones that didn't, TJ Sanders.
Hoyt is like epitome of elite athleticism.
Harrison
He's
Phillips.
A monster, you know?
And
like all of them, it didn't work out for. I'm pretty sure there's a report out there I've seen that he made Tim Settle lose like 15 pounds, and you could see it. He put it back on in Houston. He's been great.
I don't know.
I think it is a fireable offense though, because now run defense is prominent. Linebacker play. Now, because like 2020 to 2023 was full-time passing. Now we're back into hard-nosed football. So I would like to think that if you understand that you need linebackers, you need a two-gapper. So I hope that happens. Debatable. I'm not saying it will, but I think if we are noticing it right now coming into week 16.
10 years now.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they're going to have to make a decision, right? I don't mind, because this is what we've always kind of done, right, is run these small D tackles or penetrating D tackles that aren't like strong at the point of attack. We either change that or we change the linebacker breakdown, right? Like you either get the Terrell Bernards and Matt Milanos as being more outlier linebackers than your primary type linebacker that you have, or you get bigger on the D line in the middle. Like that's the only thing you got to either protect those guys, or you got to get somebody behind them that can clean up. And they just don't do that. They do the worst of both worlds, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know?
Or CJ Allen, 240.
Or instead, they can do neither and then just say at every press conference they need to be more physical up front. They could do that.
I'll say this. I also think part of it.
Allen says it's on me. The defense line's on me.
Yeah, he'll say it's on him.
Tim Settle having to lose 15 pounds is all my fault, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was the fishing onions that Keon was
TJ
talking about.
Sanders playing defensive end is all my fault. I'm sorry, guys.
He gave him the Dennis.
Or we can blame Geno Smith. That's who we have to blame.
Yeah.
We don't blame Brandon Beane or Sean McDermott. We got to blame Geno Smith.
Settle will say that Josh gave him the Dennis Reynolds size pills that he gave Mac to lose all the weight. Miley won't know about that, but that's hilarious.
Nice. Good call.
Yeah. To give you a backstory, the guy, Rob McElhaney, he's the guy who owns that soccer team with Ryan Reynolds. He's that show Wrexham or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
He's part of the he's one of the showrunners, and he asked the whole cast that year. He's like, dude, like I'm gonna gain a shit ton of weight for the show next year, for next season. So I'm gonna weigh like his guy's not big. He's like 5'8" or 5'9". He was like 160. He got up to like 220. And it wasn't good weight. He showed up and they were like, dude, what did you do to yourself? He had the whole season without it. And then the next season he lost all the weight after that. And then there's like the first episode they were talking about it. And he was like in a therapy session. And she was like, what's going on? And he's like, yeah, like Dennis keeps giving me size pills and I don't like them. And he's giving him speed and shit, like all this stuff to make him lose weight. And then Dennis came in after, he goes, man, he was fat and disgusting. I had to get him to lose that weight. I don't want to look at him. He smelled awful.
I feel like that's Sean McDermott when he looks
at
Sean
McDermott all
tackle over 320 pounds.
Yeah. But yeah, I think they're gonna have to make decisions on that front as far as like just how we're constructed as a roster. I think what's happening though is that McDermott in 2015 and 16 when he was in 17 when he was, or 15 and 16 when he was with the Panthers, this was a thing. Like linebackers started to get smaller, and then the Chiefs came around
and Thomas Davis.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Exactly.
yeah. Like,
then the Chiefs came on the scene and put linebackers in conflict who couldn't cover. So what did he do? He turned a safety into a linebacker, Milano, and he's been doing this small linebacker thing ever since. But now that's not really the way the league's going anymore. Like the league's turned into more of a running league again, and now he hasn't really adjusted, which is an egregious offense, to be clear.
Because we are playing the most base, and we probably will play a lot of base next year. So you got to look at that as well.
And Shaq Thompson's he's not going to be able to make it through a whole season.
No,
doing what
I don't think so either.
Give me Sonny
I would
Styles
love it,
or give me Death.
Not at that level. And
Sonny
even
Styles
this
won't be available.
And I thought Thompson,
straight up, I don't care. Give me him.
I agree. CJ Allen.
I don't kidnap him and bring him to Buffalo.
CJ Allen from Georgia without trading up. Sonny Styles is way better. But CJ Allen.
I thought. Did you think Thompson?
This
was Thompson's probably worst game he started this week.
Yeah. Thompson did not have a great game.
He was run defense. Okay. Yes, coverage was okay though. Coverage. He had a couple good coverage.
Yeah, I just felt like
Hunter Henry didn't really do much. We are pretty good against covering tight ends.
Milano had the best game he's had all year. Actually, 2 weeks in a row, he's been great.
Milano has had the best game he's had since he got injured.
Yep,
yeah, 100%. And last week he was good.
That's why, does it continue is my worry. Like,
if he can stay
I would
love
for Milano to be great in the playoffs, but is that going to happen? I would love for Trey White to be good in the playoffs. Is that going to happen? I would love for Jordan Boyer to be good. Yeah. Is that going to happen?
Milano's staying healthy as our defensive X factor, just like Kincaid staying healthy as our offensive X factor.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
And I do think that with Kincaid, they are holding him back a little bit.
With how Knox is playing, I don't care.
Because they don't need to play him. I feel like they're like, well, we'll put you in obvious passing downs. He had less snaps than Hawes did this week, which is unique. And I think that's they're trying to get his knee right, like officially right before the playoffs. And then, we could get away with it right now. Dude, I've always been a big Knox fan. I liked, everybody hated the signing. I thought it was a good signing before we had Kincaid. I thought he was a top 5 to 7 tight end in the NFL. This is all around.
He just makes catching so hard.
He looks hard like it's hard. Now he's looked better. When Allen threw that last dart to him, I was a little nervous. When he's that one where he made the touchdown run,
the route was great. Knox got him beat right when he got to his defender.
Yeah, it was like a little
knew that he won
type thing.
And it looked like a clear out. It looked like a 3rd and 15 clear out for Josh to run and then see if you can go for it on 4th down because we were down by 3. But Knox knew he had a beat, adjusted, and that connection between them was perfect.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
When we drafted Kincaid, it wasn't even a detriment to Knox. It was just Dorsey wanted to run a lot of passing plays at a 12 personnel where they were both running routes. And then Dorsey gets fired halfway through Kincaid's year, and then Joe Brady comes in and wants tight ends to block more. And I think that kind of also just hurt his production some. Like, I think that if we were in a 12 personnel passing offense, like if Jake Peets hypothetically takes, I guess he's a running also, but he likes to pass a lot. Yeah. The 12 personnel, I will continue to bring him up until we can't sign him.
You mean both, Miley? I like because.
Anyways, I think that if we get that, and they love to pass at a 12 personnel, I think Knox's numbers might tick up a little bit. And also with Kincaid's health not being great, I don't want to really see him play more than 40-50% snaps a game. Let him stay healthy for just receiving because he is the best receiving tight end in football right now. I think you can cut.
Trey McBride then too.
Yep, Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, Kincaid.
Kincaid.
Yes. I'm going to go back one comment. I want to go back one comment because I want to answer all these. I don't think so because it doesn't matter what happens with the Patriots this week at all. Actually, it doesn't happen without the Patriots until week 18. For us,
I'm actually rooting.
If we win the next 2,
I want them to beat Baltimore.
But we'll be in the running week 18 for the division if they lose to the Dolphins or if they lose to the Jets before that and we win out, which isn't going to happen. But all right, next thing is rumors might sit Benford. I'm in favor of this. I don't think Benford needs to play this week at all. Let him get fully healthy.
There's no reason.
The
only reason I would say I wanted to is because I'm going down to Cleveland. And my Benford jersey just came in.
Really? Nice.
And I wanted to wear it.
That's nice.
But if he's, I got it off the official NFL shop. It was like $30 off. So I kind of was like, I hope Benford plays so I can wear it, but I'll just wear my Kincaid jersey and I'll wear Benford.
You live in Buffalo. You go frequently. You'll put that on soon enough.
Well, I'm going to every game for the rest of the year.
There you go.
You'll see him again.
I will be at every single game for the rest of the year until the Super Bowl, because we're getting the 2 seed, and then Denver's going to lose in the divisional round, and we're going to host the AFC Championship at home. And so I will be at every Bills game until the Super Bowl.
Speaking of that, it does look kind of nice right now.
40 and partially sunny.
I ran the simulator on what I think is going to happen.
About weather for the game on Sunday.
If we get the 2 seed or the 6, doesn't matter. If we get the 2, we're playing the Texans or Colts.
I would no Chargers probably.
The Chargers.
Chargers and Texans play each other week 17.
So whoever wins that's probably going to get flip on the seeding potentially. But I don't think the Texans will beat out the Jaguars for the seeding.
No, yeah. I think the Texans.
They're going to be the 7.
No, I think the Chargers
could win the division as well. They get to play the Broncos.
They have to play the Cowboys, the Texans, and the Broncos.
Yeah, so there's a chance they could take that as well. I
don't think so though.
I
think the Texans away are not as big as a problem.
But but the Chargers don't really have home field advantage. That Texans pass rush versus that Chargers offensive line. You really think the Chargers are going to be able to do anything?
No, but if we can get the Chargers
might get actually
1 seed
murdered in that game.
The Chargers being a 1 seed, if we're not the 1 seed, would be awesome.
Oh yeah,
no home field. If we can get the Texans out completely and the Colts go on some kind of weird run, right? Win the next 3 games, get in, and they don't. That'd be awesome too. And then like the Patriots and Broncos, maybe the Broncos fall off a little bit and they'll be in the 5 seed. Then you get the Steelers and Jags. That would feel a lot better about it at that point.
I think like the most ideal realistic scenario for me would be Denver 1, us 2, Jacksonville 3, Pittsburgh 4, New England 5, Houston 6, Chargers 7. Where we can't play Houston to the AFC Championship game. That it would be impossible because as long as we beat the Chargers, they're the lowest seed remaining. If they win, then them and Denver play each other in the divisional round. Sweet, let those defenses beat up on each other, and then you have New England playing Pittsburgh, and then we have the winner of that game at home.
I will say this: I think that we could probably take advantage of these teams and like the way they play.
That's the best scenario.
Like
letting Denver and Houston beat up on each other, and we get the winner of Houston and Pittsburgh.
And Denver looked much different when Parsons went out this week too.
I forgot to ask that question. Do you think that they came back if Parsons didn't get injured?
No,
I don't think so either. I don't think so.
Bo Nix was on his heels before that.
I will give
the best game of his career though.
Yeah, I was gonna say Bo Nix has been playing a bit better lately. I am not a Bo Nix fan. I don't think Bo Nix is that great. I'm not a Bo Nix fan. One thing that pissed me off, just another side piece, is RJ Harvey scoring that touchdown made me mad because I had a bet for him to score a touchdown, but at this point I knew Puka wasn't going to score one. So then RJ Harvey scoring the touchdown basically was a knife in my heart at $570 because Puka got it. Puka's cramps cost me $570.
So before we get
Devontae Adams shouldn't have strained his hamstring. He had to do double the work. Puka Nacua is the best wide receiver out right now. I love Puka.
Before we get to predictions real quick, I want to bring up the MVP race a little bit just for like a quick blurb about it. Do you guys feel like McVay is padding Stafford's stats so he can go out on an MVP? Because it feels that way when I'm watching the games. I'm okay
with that.
30. He has like 38 touchdown passes.
He locks in his Hall of Fame career. He locks in a Hall of Fame career. Right now,
I think he's already in. You think he's borderline?
I love Stafford, but I think he's definitely borderline. He doesn't have any All-Pros right now.
He did nothing in
this
Detroit.
This is going to be the first year he's going to have an All-Pro, and he does have the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl MVP. He won Super Bowl MVP.
Cooper Kupp got it, didn't he?
Oh yeah, Kupp.
Yeah, you might
he has a ring. He has a ring and some Pro Bowls and stats.
And a bad run in Detroit.
I think he's
it's
the best pure passer in the history of the NFL.
In the history of the NFL?
No.
I can't say. I can't.
Rodgers is one. Oh? Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers.
So the reason I would put Rodgers ahead of Stafford is because Stafford is historically a pretty low completion percentage guy. I know he's a good thrower of the football. I don't know if he's a pure passer, so to speak. I look at Manning as being a pure Dan Marino is probably my goat.
It's more processing for me and Manning. I think Manning's a fantastic.
What about Marino? Marino's
Marino.
I mean, he's got to be number 1 or 2. I think
Rodgers. No. I think Rodgers is. I wasn't alive for Marino.
Yeah.
From everything I've seen, I'm gonna say Rodgers is the best
Rodgers
pure
is
passer
fair.
of all time.
Well, Rodgers is ranked higher than him because Rodgers can do more things. He won a championship.
I was gonna say Rodgers. I think Rodgers can make higher end throws while also being consistent. There's throws Rodgers has made that I don't think any player in NFL history could make. Not even Josh Allen.
No way.
Maybe like
Josh
I've
Allen
seen
about that.
I'm
talking about like the Cowboys throw.
I think there's one against the Bears too. He's had a couple of like he's probably got like 5 throws where you could look at. You can make an argument that no one else is making this throw. Like I think this one ended up being a completion, but there was one. I think he was like had pressure in his face across his body and threw like a 65-yard dot to Jordy Nelson. I think that was dropped.
When it comes to Hail Mary throws, he's the best Hail Mary thrower ever. There's no question.
That too.
I don't care about it at all, but he is the best at it. He's somehow I don't know how he does it.
80%
the Arizona
left.
Cardinals drive he had when he went down and basically like 25 seconds, he had like the 2 plays, the Jeff Janis legacy drive.
I don't remember that.
It was in the playoffs, divisional round 2015, because then the Cardinals won and then they got stomped by the Panthers. But they were like Rodgers was at like his own 10. It was like 4th and like 15 with like 25 seconds left. And he throws a heave to Jeff Janis and they get to like midfield. And then like 2 plays later, they do a Hail Mary and then Jeff Janis catches it in the end zone. He had like 3 catches for like 106 yards and a touchdown that game. And it was a nobody before that. It was a nobody after. It was the one legacy drive. And then Larry Fitzgerald just ended it for the Cardinals in overtime. Rodgers never got to touch the ball.
I'd say Aaron Rodgers, the one thing about him that's different than Allen, I think if you're talking about RPMs on the football, like arm strength, Allen's got a stronger arm. I don't know if anyone's as strong as arm as Allen. But what I would say is I think that throwing it really far, if you've ever, y'all have thrown footballs before. I think throwing it far and throwing it with velocity are different things. Yeah. Throwing it far is almost more about technique than anything else. Like Tua can probably heave it almost 70 yards, and he's got one of the weakest arms in the league, but he can it's just trajectory and the way that you plant and throw.
Angle, physics,
angles. Blah, blah, blah. Now, I think Allen probably can throw 80 to 85 yards on a good day, right? But Aaron Rodgers in his prime could also do it, and Aaron's like 6'2", 205. Like, he's not a big dude. Allen's got a lot of weight behind his throw as well, So, like, pound for pound, Rodgers probably does, but Rodgers is a better pure passer than Allen for sure. Like the throws he's making, Allen can't make them because he's not as good of a passer of the football.
I think it's more about consistent. I mean, Josh Allen, think about the Jordan Palmer throw against the Ravens. That's 1 in probably 3 quarterbacks that can throw that in the league right now. He can, but the issue is that Josh Allen can't consistently do it. He needs to be on that mark.
The throw to wide receiver Jesus against Denver. What's his name? Kumara.
That was a bullet. That skinny post.
Yep. The throw against San Francisco where right over Wagner's hand and it dropped in 2020. That was another one. I thought Allen, I don't know who else makes that throw with the velocity that he had on it and the trajectory.
It's consistency.
Yeah, it's when Allen gets it off his fingers perfect, it's literally beautiful. You know what I mean? The thing is, Rodgers probably best looking throw may not be as good looking as Allen's, but he does it more often at 90% of Allen's best. Just the problem is Allen's at his best, these kind of throws way less often than Rodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why Rodgers.
Yeah, Rodgers is much more consistent because Rodgers' touch is just insane. Allen it can fit into any window. Rodgers can drop it into any window.
Yeah. And that's the difference. It's just a feathery touch. And the funny thing is, if you watch, you might remember this, Randall. You're too young, Miley. When he was drafted in 2005, did you watch the draft back then?
Yeah.
Do you remember his throwing motion?
Ooh, I don't think that I studied him that far back, but no.
It's like this.
It was high up. Yeah, that. That is right. I do remember
now he's changed. Now he's got the pop pass. That's how he throws all of his throws. Dude, go back and look at Aaron Rodgers' draft highlight video from Cal. Dude, it is not the same player. Not the same person.
I mean, look at Josh Allen, though.
I know, but it's rare. The great ones can do this, but most of them don't. Changing your throwing motion and becoming more accurate. Remember, that used to be like a outside the box thought. Remember Troy Aikman saying no one changes that accuracy.
Right.
And Allen did. And Rodgers did for that matter.
Look at Jordan Love. Jordan Love's got to change his stuff up. He is kind of mini Josh Allen, but he's unwilling to change.
And he doesn't have as clean of a throwing motion. I would say this about Aaron. The one thing, the reason I think that he's got like this kind of almost like a standard bearer in this occasion is that Allen takes that was
Yeah,
really
great
good.
call. Yeah,
Where they collapsed in on him and he threw. I didn't know how he threw the ball
off his back foot and just plopped it right in.
I didn't even know how he got the ball out. It was almost like
he owns Jalen Ramsey.
It's like he had a cannon in his side and he put it in there and like it didn't look like he threw the ball. But Rodgers is the first one that actually changed his throwing motion in that aggressive of a manner.
Steelers are winning now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Connor Haywood with the touchdown. That's crazy.
So the one thing, the last note I'll say is Rodgers, he changed his throwing motion with nobody to use as a model.
Right.
Josh and all these guys, Pat, they all
Palmer
take stuff
like
from
that.
Rodgers. He's the guy who changed the game when throwing motion.
Yeah.
No one threw the ball Favre didn't throw like that. He had a super overhand delivery, you know.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
he just threw it to the defense.
All right, let's do predictions, guys.
I think that the Browns now officially have seen the light of day that they could potentially get the one pick or number 2 pick for Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza. So I think that they're going to just be centrally focused on Myles Garrett getting the sack record, and that's it. So I believe that we will win 30. I think it's going to be like a Carolina game. I think it's going to be 35-9, something like that.
I'm going to go 27-6.
I think we'll be resting starters in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll be able to score enough. I just don't know if we'll score enough points. But so I'm going to say 27-6.
Yeah, I could see us getting up on them like 24-3 and being like mid third quarter, and then Allen playing a couple more drives, and then it goes out and it's 27-6.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I don't know if the Browns end up going quarterback. I don't like Shedeur, but I'm kind of on the thought of passing on quarterback this year, and
it's not a good quarterback draft in my opinion.
It's not,
Shedeur, and then you either he turns out to be something, or you suck and get a quarterback next year in a better class.
Hey, listen, that's awfully debatable because this is exactly the same exact conversation that we're having last year when it was Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. Everybody said that this class was going to be better, and then look what happened to Alar, Nussmeier, Klubnik, Sellers is staying back. Yep, Arch Manning's not going to go. So that's debatable. Is still
better than last year's, arguably.
In the fact, it will probably be better.
Mendoza's better than all of them.
Mendoza's better than all of them. Dante Moore is a better processor. But not better than Cam Ward.
Yeah.
I put him at third. But
I would be like Mendoza 1, Cam Ward 2, Dante Moore 3.
Darian Mensah is talking about
Simpson, probably like 4.
Going to the draft. He's an incredible product. So there's a lot. I don't know. I think Cleveland is done with Shedeur because they already were when they drafted him. So I think that if you get a chance at Mendoza, I think they take it.
Here's my hot take.
The reason I don't think they will is because I think that the Raiders are going to lose to the Giants. The Raiders are going to lose out.
I think they're going to trade Shedeur. That's my prediction in the offseason.
I think so too.
I think they're done with it. Not Shedeur's fault. Shedeur is a young guy. He's immature, a little immature. He's not a bad kid. No. I don't think he's done anything egregious, clearly. But I also think that he definitely has like this mindset of like he is a little bit entitled, right? Because of his father, rightfully so. I mean, it's just how he's been raised, you know. But I would rather have that mindset than like he's not as good of a player as this guy. But like when I see guys like I don't know, like what's his name, JJ McCarthy, and like.
Oh yeah, good point.
He might be better than JJ McCarthy.
Don't dance in the end zone when you've had a bad year.
Yeah, like in Jaden Daniels, I see a lot of weird stuff from him being. I feel like every time I see Jaden on the field, he's like smiling and laughing with people, and I'm like, dude, like you're supposed to want to kill these people. Like that's football, man. Like I don't feel like we need to be buddies with the people when we're in the field. After the game, they'll understand why you wanted to kill them. Like Josh Allen doesn't buddy these people while he's beating their ass, you know?
Right.
He goes up after the game.
When he looked up at that player last year against the Dolphins, when the guy was talking shit, he looked at like his name plate, like, who are you? Yeah.
That's best as possible.
Yeah, he was like, he saw his jersey.
I would rather take Shedeur Sanders' personality than Diego Pavia's.
Really? I don't know anything about Diego Pavia.
I thought that was funny.
I don't know.
I thought that was funny.
Oh, I
thought that was hilarious.
He makes me cringe. He makes me cringe.
Vanderbilt,
he's consistently that guy.
Vanderbilt.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I find it funny.
High levels of douche.
And he's also kind of like he doesn't have any high level skills. I feel like he's going to be a guy that ends up going to the 4th round or something. That's kind of how I vibe him. He's a higher level than
he could be a Taysom Hill.
Yeah, like that. Like a little bit better thrower than that, but like
and he shouldn't put Indiana on anything because he lost the Heisman. Did not deserve the Heisman.
That one I don't agree, but the F the voters, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, it was just a down year for the Heisman too, statistically.
Oh,
which
for
sucks
sure.
Because last year
Fernando Mendoza
was insane, and Genty got robbed.
Yeah. Mendoza is having a better stats than JJ McCarthy, but kind of a similar trajectory. Like JJ McCarthy, when he was playing for Michigan, he had similar things where like his stats weren't that good, but like the physical tools were mostly there. He seemed like a good leader. Like Mendoza's gonna get
Mendoza's insanely smart though.
He's gonna get drafted. Have you heard him talk? He is the weird guy.
He is, which is perfect.
I kind of want my quarterback to be the weird guy. You can make an argument. Josh is the weird guy, kind of, when it comes to stuff.
I like him. It tells me he talks like a hyper intelligent person.
For sure.
And I like that
I
about him.
just hope he doesn't go to the Jets because I want to root for him so bad. But
I do too. I like it.
Just like Drake May. I wanted to root for Drake May, and he went to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Listen, wins against Ohio State, in Oregon, and in Penn State whiteout is impressive enough for him. And he led that Penn State whiteout touchdown drive, which was lethal in itself.
That throw and catch.
Both those throws. That seam and 4th down was sick. And then that Omar Cooper Jr. was insane.
Yeah.
Their coach was a coach at JMU, which is a Virginia school. They're in the tournament.
Yeah, Signetti rock.
Oh, that elite level troll. Like, have you seen JMU's social media? They're just trolling the shit out of Oregon, and it's so funny, bro. The stuff they're saying, and it's just like, it's like complete obvious that it's a joke. They were like, the one was like, Texas Tech's one of the best teams in football. We should probably rest our starters so we don't get injured. They're saying stuff like that. Oh, it's absolutely hilarious.
Dude,
it's also one for JMU. Like, you're losing.
Or the one they brought up, like, passing yards against Georgia State this year, and like it was Oregon had 0, and it goes, who's really like the best team or whatever. Bro, they were just saying some like complete troll level stuff. It's this one account.
Dude. They are like,
off, and it has me dying laughing.
It's not surprising. That school, my daughter, she's 21, she went there for her first year, and it is. And I had a bunch of buddies that went there. It is the most social school you'll ever see. Like it is a fraternity school basically. So you get a bunch of frat guys now online. Basically, the whole school is like a bunch of preppy frat dudes just trolling people on there, which is kind of hilarious in a lot of ways.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Here's one.
Yeah.
Here's one real quick. Coming into the week, we didn't even think Oregon football had fans, but interacting with the Duck supporters have been great. It's nice to see that even smaller conferences like the Big Ten have fans willing to support their up-and-coming programs. Warms our heart.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. It's so funny.
That's hilarious. That's awesome. Because you know what the funny part is? JMU, the one thing JMU does well is they run the ball. And Oregon's not a good run defense, so maybe they got a fighting chance to not lose by 2 scores, you know?
Search up JMU Sports News on Twitter. That's the account.
I'll check it out. Yeah. All right, guys, let's end this up. You got anything else for us?
Go Bills, go Sabres.
Go
Please
Sabres.
Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sports book of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.